So I thought I'd make a quick video on hand depriming tools. First one I ever owned was this one, the Frankford Arsenal. This comes with a lot of shell holders inside. I'll show you those. And this is inside the case. Tells you what they all fit. With that said, I've loaded thousands of rounds with this. Never had any issues. Maybe maybe two primers in 1,000 would jam. And part of the problem with that is this, there's no type of safety. You can see the cedar plug in there. There's no safety to prevent a second primer from attempting to feed into it. Now I've read if you hold it, more downwards as opposed to up, it's more prone to jam. I tried both and I would still get, a jam occasionally. But anyway, recently I had a primer jam up and it took me a bit longer than usual to get it loose. And then I noticed my wheel wouldn't turn. That wheel is the adjust your seating depth of your primer. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you seat your primer just below flush to properly seat it and get reliable ignition. So that wheel actually bound up with me, so I had to take it apart. You can see all these Allen screws all through it, which is kind of a pain. I really wish they would just do Phillips head or flathead or something, because you got to fidget with a freaking Allen wrench. But anyway, took it apart, put it back together, cleaned it out. Actually cleaned the threads out. This is got a couple of nuts on it and it's threaded, so I had that out, cleaned it, made sure nothing was in the threads. It still binds up. So I had it apart maybe I think 4 different times, put it back together, and it's not tightened down too much or anything, but it's not seating my primers flush anymore or below flush. They're actually sticking up a bit, which is a pain, because then I had to come in here and reseat on my press. So I may contact Frankford Arsenal about this and see, what they say, or see if they've got a repair or replacement, whatever. I'm not going to throw it away. I mean, it's worked well. But what I did do in the meantime is I bought one of these. In fact, I bought 2 of these. This is the RCBS universal priming tool. A benefit of it is, well, it's actually a couple benefits to it. Number one, the universal, you don't have to fidget with shell holders. It's universal. It's got those little things and they just move to accommodate a lot of sizes. And you've got this safety feature on it. This metal strip is not just for the handle, but if you watch, it only allows one primer to feed at a time. And if for some reason you have a primer go off in this is going to protect, against setting every primer in that thing off, because you don't really want to do that. You're going to blow this thing apart and a loud bang and maybe get some stuff in your eyes. Of course, with that said, they all say wear safety glasses, reload manuals, all this equipment, everything says wear it. Do we do it? Not always. But I've loaded tens of thousands of rounds and I've never once had a primer go off. And I think a lot of that comes from just using common sense. Don't try to use force. If you've got one that it's really tough to seat, don't sit there and just force the handle or keep pushing on it. Back it off. There's a reason for it. You've got a jam. You've got, you're trying to prime a crimped case. You're trying, something wrong. And maybe it's just a stiff, a tight primer pocket. Sometimes like a lot of handgun ammunition, I noticed like Cellular and Bellet, Privy Partisan, they're pretty typical for tight primer pockets. But, yeah, if you've got one of these Frankford Arsenal tools and you've ever experienced a jam with the seating adjustment wheel, let me know how you fixed there, straightened it out. It's a really good, well-built tool. Like I said, that's the only issue I've ever had with it. But it was enough to where it shut me down. So I went this route. Now, some people will knock off brand stuff like, buy RCBS or buy Hornady or Lyman, whatever. And, I've got stuff from everybody. You can see I've got RCBS stuff. I've got Frankford Arsenal. I've got Lyman. I've got Lee. I've got more RCBS stuff up here. I've got plenty of things in here by all manufacturers. And I've never had, bad experiences with any of it, really. But anyway, like I said, without going off on a tangent, just let me know if you've ever had an issue with the Frankford Arsenal priming tool.